welcome back to Project Independence in You, Talk of the Town, Community Talk Radio, with Kristina Liu, of course, who is our radio show producer and pulls the shows together every week. Every week I say this to another great guest, of course, good friends of ours and partners for years and years and years, the Alzheimer's Association. And it was good information, like, positive and really good information for anyone.
Absolutely. And that's such a, as we've talked, to the Alzheimer's Association so many different times about so many, different versions of, things involving dementia and Alzheimer's. And it's a heavy topic. And it can be very overwhelming. And I love this version of it because it is hopeful, and I think we've said that word, so many times during the interview because it really is something. And that's really the message, to get across is that, you hear these things and, if you were in that situation, it could seem very hopeless, and to know that there are these little kind of things that, listen, nothing's an overnight quick fix, but they really can be beneficial. And Becca, as you said too, it's for so many different health kind of things, so it's not like these are very specific to, brain health. It's really for overall health, kind of doing all these different things and finding what works for you and what you have fun with. And I just love that kind of message about it. And it actually jogged my memory because I feel like one of the first gifts, like little kits that I made you was like a brain health, like a memory little box, and I have to find the picture because I remember I bought you some like nuts, and because we used to, and because we were always, Beck was very concerned about always keeping her memory, going strong. And
I forgot about that. But I'm pumped.
But I was like sitting there, I totally, remember. So we were very ahead of our time, Beck, in our gift choices. But it's such a great interview, and we're fortunate to have them as a partner. And once again, here we are able to showcase another wonderful resource on Long Island and national,
right?
That can really help you. And the fact that, I love when there's these helplines that are 24/7, because, I'm sure that there are, especially when you're a caregiver, I've had conversations with caregivers, and it's such an overwhelming experience that you are doing, 24/7, so if that panic situation that you're confused and have questions about and, not sure how to handle, obviously if it's an emergency, you call 911, but, for a question like that, to be able to call the helpline. And on holidays, how wonderful is that? I think so many things are closed on holidays where you can't even, connect to them, and the fact that that is open. So I just want to give the helpline phone number is, and this is the national one, 1-800-272-3900. And then the Long Island number is 631-629-6950. If you're watching the video, we'll have them up at the end. If you're listening and forgot what I said, you can call me at 311 or 516-869-6311, and we'll get you all the information for that, because they really have so many wonderful services and programs, and it's so important to connect to that. So great segment, Beck.
Good segment, good info, good. It's all the things we talked about, all the hopeful things, really, I think are good for anyone aging. Yes, for people that are younger, but the hope comes in that you can make a change.
Yeah.
You still can make a change, no matter how old you are, and it could take you in a positive direction, whether it's adding a little exercise, 5 minutes a day, maybe just starting out by getting rid of some bad, I won't say bad, but, not the healthiest food source.
Absolutely. And I think that, because that's always my favorite, when we do a lot of these nutrition topics and exercise and mind, all these things are kind of, interconnected. And that's always my favorite kind of thing, because that's just who I am as a person in general. It's that, you can do a little tweak can go a long way. No one's saying like you can never again enjoy, French fries and burgers and, all like the fun things that, life has to offer. But it's, just especially if you're a person who's consistently eating something like that, 5 days a week, to cut it down and say, oh, I'm just going to try that maybe like once a week, so it's doing these little kind of tweaks that you really will see, because I've implemented that in my life with various things, and you really do see that benefit and that difference, and as far as exercise goes, like the Project Independence exercise program that, Beck, I'm going to give you a huge kudos in this because you work extremely hard on planning this, and it's such an endeavor. And what always sticks in my brain about that is that there are so many people who really have never exercised, and here they are, and they're seniors, and this is a new world for them, and they're joining, they're doing dance fitness or something, like, or if they wanted to start small and just do like a gentle yoga kind of thing, they'll do that, so it really opened the door to so many people that was never their kind of thing, and now that's, listen, if it's not on airing on North Hempstead TV, if there's a glitch, I mean, we certainly hear about it. So on top of the in-person ones, here, the impact that it really has on people who are home and able to do that, or even if they want to do both, you could do that too. So it's really a special program. So I have to give you a little round of applause for that. And speaking of that, Beck, I know it's been quite the week for you because the registration has opened for the Fall Project Independence exercise classes. Beck, can you just give us a little quick update on exercise?
Well, yeah, definitely. We did open up registration for the fall program, which starts the week of, I think it's September 12th.
Yes.
We're offering 10 classes at one, two, three, four different facilities. Clinton Martin Park, of course, the Yes We Can Community Center, Tully Park, and did I say the Port Washington Activity Center?
Yep.
So, I don't want to say one of the issues, but Port Washington Activity Center is fully booked already because they don't have a space big enough to accommodate so many people. So like at Clinton Martin Park, at Tully, we can fit a large number of people because they have these huge multi-purpose rooms that, can safely, comfortably fit a lot more people. So I have not felt this kind of registration for fitness in many, many years, if ever. It's a lot more organized, so it's coming in a little bit, in a way that is manageable, but still they're coming in fast and furious. I fear a lot of classes will be closed out. I know that we have a newsletter going out, but know that we're still not at full capacity for where we were pre-pandemic in terms of the number of classes, because, we're still trying to see who's coming out. And Kristina, what I think I kind of realized yesterday is I noticed that people are coming out more to the classes and programs that they were familiar with before the pandemic. The newer programming and things, not as much. But the things that most are familiar with, they're like, okay, it's time to come back. Maybe not as much with newer stuff, but I think that's what's happening here with the fitness program. So you just call 311 or 869-6311 to.
Right. And we will be continuing the North Hempstead TV programs as well. Right. So that's something that you could, if you somehow don't get the class that you want, but still want to participate, you're able to watch that.
And I just want to mention one of the biggest changes that we've had is that we have a lot of instructors that are not coming back and a lot of new instructors. So we really were very careful about replacing instructors. Everybody's certified, carries their insurance, has experience with the senior community. I mean, there's a lot. So it takes a lot to get. We want to not just, replace somebody. We want to make sure that
it's the right fit.
Someone has the sensitivity. So, it was a big program, a big change, because, of course, Margaret, who is, our longest instructor, and she's just wonderful and loved, is taking a different career path now. So she's not coming back. Maybe someday she will, to teach. So that was a lot. That was a big change. That was a big, I don't think we could ever, find someone to jump in her shoes, but, we have a bunch of new instructors starting, and I'm actually going to be teaching yoga on Mondays at Clinton Martin Park at 9:30. So there's still there's still availability. So if you're interested in taking yoga, it'll be all level yoga. I'll give all kinds of different modifications. So, and of course, all the 9 other classes that are available.
Great. Well, that's definitely it's exciting, and it's speaking of hopeful, it's just nice to see things starting to pick up again.
Yeah, really.
And it's really it's nice. I think about when you had to modify the exercise program, and all the. I mean, it seems so long ago, and it's just but it went on for so many years, just kind of tweaking and figuring out, and just by seeing, all the registrations that came in that first day that you opened it up, really was telling that, people do want to kind of get out there. And we always say the exercise classes are so much more than just, your basic exercising, because you're getting that socializing with other people, which I think is so important as well. So good stuff. And call 311, because if a class is canceled, you can be put on a wait list, right, Rebecca?
Yeah, except at Port Washington, which is completely overbooked, and we're hope maybe it'll change. I don't know, but there's no wait list for any. It's just kind of closed now. But there's plenty of other classes.
Right. Great. So call 311 for that, and then there's a lot of new programming coming in the fall. Even though I'm not rushing summer, we're still fully in summer. But just, things to mark on your calendar that are going to be coming up in the month of September. There's a lot of things kicking off in September and October. The Yes We Can Fridays, that's a great program that's offered there. And it's every Friday. It kicks off on September 16th. And there's going to be exercise for balance and strength. And that's with our partnership through NYU Langone Health. So they do a wonderful program. And then that's followed by What in the World is Going On, which is a current and world events discussion group.
Yeah.
And then it is Color Me Calm, which is some great mindfulness coloring. And as it ties in with what we talked on our first segment, because you're doing something creative, you're socializing, and it's a nice therapeutic kind of activity. So that starts September 16th at 9:30 a.m. over at Yes We Can Community Center in Westbury. So call 311 to register.
Right. And I just want to say, some people thought that if they signed up for the exercise, the balance for strength, that it counted with the exercise program. Totally separate.
Totally separate. Totally separate.
So you could pick 2 classes for PI Fitness, Project Independence Exercise, what I was just talking about before, and also take that Friday class.
Great. That's a great, good thing to know. And Beck, I also want to, before we continue, I know you were very involved, and yesterday was the final Fun Day Monday / Fun Day Thursday program. So I know there was a lot of hurdles with weather this go around, which was a lot, but I heard it was very well attended. So give us it was a veterans salute, correct?
So yeah, it was the veterans. We did the salute to the veterans, which we do every year as a finale for Fun Day Monday, which was Fun Day Thursday. You generally Thursdays, when we have to implement the rain date, is much less people come, just because they're not planning on it and the groups aren't meeting and things are different. That did not hit. I mean, I've never seen, I don't even know if we've had that many people at any of the Fun Day Mondays this year. It was packed. We had so much going on. Of course, we had the line dancer, and we had Bud and Linda under the pavilion. We had the stage. We had the Quatrain Quartet. We had National Circus Project. We had, the whole big tent ceremony for the veterans, our wonderful veterans. And it was just beautiful. And it was 100 degrees.
Yeah.
So, it was and then at the end, we had a wonderful little party for all the volunteers.
Good. That's what I wanted to.
All summer, coming out, and they really worked hard. I mean, they really did. And that was really nice. And the supervisor came, which was lovely. And it was a long day. Did I mention it was a long day? It was a long, hot day. And I mean, as wonderful as the day was, as successful as the day was, I was glad when I got home. Let me tell you.
That's right. You could just go take a nap, and it's the final Fun Day Monday Thursday nap. So
yes.
But a shout out, and I know Northwell Health was a sponsor.
Yes.
For a lot of the Fun Day Monday stuff. So thank you to them. thank you to the volunteers and obviously the wonderful community service and, DOSA people that really helped out with Fun Day Monday / Fun Day Thursday, because it seemed like they was on a lot of Thursdays this go around too. So it's like, I feel like there was like an even split of Fun Day Mondays.
Actually, I don't think there were any Thursdays.
Oh, that's right, because they were canceled fully.
For weather.
Right, that's right. They were supposed to be.
So we had, I think, 5. We had 7. We were supposed to have 7 this summer. 2 were completely.
Yeah, that's right. So it's I think we all know that the weather has been a little weird, but shout out to everyone that really put in a lot of work to that. And Beck, you had mentioned earlier that our Pioneer newsletter should be hitting soon. So I'm really glad to announce that it has fully went to the printer. I've approved the mailing list. It should be in homes next week, which is really, really great. So please check that out. And if you are not getting it, please call 311 or 516-869-6311 and let me know. I will check and see if you're on the list. If you're not on the list, you'll be added to the list, because it's just such a wealth of knowledge, and just current events and programs that are going on and just kind of hot topics. So that should be in there. And there's a little blurb about mindful walking and getting out there. That's what I love about the fall, is because it's a great time to kind of do outdoor activities, because it's not so hot and it's not freezing cold yet. So you have like this nice little period. So that is in there as well. So stay tuned for more information.
Well, we have to take a quick break, Kristina. So we'll be right back with Talk of the Town with Kristina Liu. You're listening to Project Independence, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 and FM and WCWP.org. We will be right back.
WCWP is your home for great music and great conversation. You'll find all that and more on WCWP.org. Listen live on the web, check out the lineup, subscribe to podcasts, and stay up to date on the latest station events. Get in touch with us and let us know if you like what you're hearing. And find out how you can support or get involved at the only community public radio station serving Nassau's North Shore. Plus, sign up to get a free bumper sticker. It's all online at WCWP.org.
And welcome back to Project Independence in You, Community Talk Radio, Talk of the Town with Kristina Liu. We're talking about what's going on in the town of North Hempstead. So there's a lot of stuff, Kristina. The packet's thick. We're coming back into fall.
The packet is thick. That is seriously a great introduction, because the packet is quite thick, and there's we were just talking about the Pioneer before the break, and there's a lot of great tips and golden nuggets and just really, really great programs that are coming this fall. Some of our oldies, but there's a lot of new programs too. So before the break, we were talking about mindfulness walking, and we're always preaching on the show. That was a big part of all of our kind of pandemic lockdown routines. So it's really something that gets brought up a lot, and people saw the benefits of kind of doing this mindfulness walking, where it's more than just walking fast paced. You're kind of taking in the scenery and breathing, and there's a lot incorporated in that. So the town, we are going to be providing a couple of them, but the first one is a discovery walk, and that's going to be at the Outdoor Museum Manhasset Bay Walk. It's going to be led by the Port Washington North Mayor, Bob Weitzner. And that's going to be on Tuesday, September 13th at 11 a.m. And it's really a beautiful location. So you kind of will do this stroll along the waterfront and learn about the history and the impact it's had on the community. It's about, an hour or so walk. You have to register, so you need to call 311. But it's really a nice little thing that there's so much history in North Hempstead, and the fact that you can kind of incorporate exercise and learning has really been a nice thing with these discovery walks. So definitely check that out if you are interested. And I also, we are stationed at Clint G. Martin Park, and hopefully, it's going to be done soon, but I see that they're mapping out kind of a walking path by there. I actually did it the other day because it was so hot and I did not want to be in the full sun. So I said, let me just give this, walking path a go. And it's a good little walk. I kept thinking it seemed smaller than it was. But it really was a nice little walk. So I think that they're hopefully in the fall time that will be kind of ironed out.
Did you map out the distance? Like, was it?
I want to start that because I already had it going from the other. So I want to get an adequate count of that. But I was walking around and I was like, this is nice, because I was picturing like the foliage, because it was right by the trees. I was like, this actually could work for a mindfulness kind of walk.
So you were all walking.
I was. That's exactly what I was doing, and that's my favorite kind, because it's just it's really just kind of being present in the whole thing, and it's a peaceful kind of meditative experience. So I encourage everyone to do that. Not today because it's very hot, but when the weather starts cooling down, certainly check that out. Other programs that are coming up, our social worker and nurses have really been taking in everyone's suggestions and just topics that have been coming up and trying to think of new kind of innovative programs to do in the fall. So one that's coming up on September 12th is This Life of Mine, Sharing and Creating New Memories Through Journaling. It's going to be facilitated by Gina Etienne, who is one of our social workers, and it's an 8-session guided journaling group, and it's really just to document the unique stories of your life, whether it's in poem or in just journaling. It's really an open thing, and it's a great book you'll get that kind of gives you guidance to journal. And this is something that I've seen the benefits of, and I've heard people, and the space is limited for this program. So it's going to be at the Westbury Library. It's going to meet on like every other Monday for 8 sessions. So please call 301 as soon as possible to register for this because it is limited space for that program. We also have coming up, which is the quite the hot topic, and we already have people actually registering for this program, is the Medicare Part D. Which plan is right for you? I cannot believe that we're already talking about this. It feels like just yesterday, Beck, that we were talking about, the Medicare open enrollment. But here we are again. So the first one kicks off on Tuesday, October 25th. It's going to be facilitated by Danielle Ezzo, who is she's a clinical professor and a pharmacist over at St. John's University. She's incredible. She's been on our show numerous times. And she will schedule individual appointments with you. So you would come with a list of your medications, and they will, a pharmacist will sit with you one-on-one and kind of break down which plan fits your needs. Because I think, we all know every year you're prescribed some new medication or something's discontinued or something goes generic. I mean, there's so many different variables.
Right.
And it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of situation. So that's October 25th at the Port Washington Adult Activity Center. It kicks off at 10 a.m., but you make an appointment in between the slots. Then there's going to be one on November 15th at the Great Neck Social Center. And then there'll be telephone appointments available on November 10th from 10 to 1. And that is something that started during the pandemic when we couldn't meet. And it actually worked for a lot of people. So that is still going to be an option, which I think is great. So register for that. There's already tons of registrations coming in for that, as I've seen that have come into the SR system. So that is kicking off Tuesday, October 25th. We have another support group that's starting in addition to our caregiver support group that I had mentioned earlier, which is still going to be meeting on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. virtually. There's going to be another group that's starting called Coping with Loss Support Group. And that starts on October 12th. It's going to be for 6 sessions. And it's really about people who have experienced grief and loss when they have a death of a loved one, which unfortunately a lot of us can relate to during it's been a rough few years for people, so I think it's important to do this group. So a lot of people reached out to her and asked for it. So our social worker, Krista, is going to be doing this at the Hillside Public Library. It's going to start on Wednesday, October 12th, and meet at 11 a.m. for 6 sessions at the Hillside Public Library. And I have to give a special shout out to our libraries in North Hempstead because they've been such great partners to us to give us space to do these programs over there. So it's a really great, there's a lot of that going on in the fall, which is really, really nice. In addition to that, we're always talking about fall prevention on this show. And on Wednesday, October 12th, we are also going to be having, the nurses will be providing Watch Your Step fall prevention. It's really an important program. It's 5 sessions to decrease your risk of falling, just give you exercises to increase your strength, just different medications, how that impacts you, how to make your house safer. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different things you could learn in this program. That's going to meet at the Manhasset Library on October 12th, and it will be.
And Christina, excuse me, about that program too. It's like I could see people not wanting to come and say, I'm having trouble, I'm busy, I'm this, but it's really, it could be a temporary thing, and you might be able to actually
Absolutely.
identify why you're feeling that way.
And
So
it's a proactive kind of program. I mean, we're always talking
definitely.
about that here. I think about it all the time. Anytime I see a throw rug in a senior's home, like
Oh,
my
get rid of
blood
it.
pressure starts rising. And my grandpa was like the king of it. There was always some kind of rug that was slightly askew and bent over and just all around dangerous. And that's something that we had to remove because it was such a hazard. So I mean, everyone has heard the horror stories about, their family member or their neighbor who fell and broke their hip and then, was never the same. I mean,
Right.
I feel like,
And for the most part, because most homes on Long Island are multi-levels,
yep.
bedrooms upstairs, you've got your washer dryer in the
Right,
basement.
and a lot of tight individual
Here.
rooms, it's hard to kind of navigate these things. And I think, this watch your step, it's essentially watching your step, and not, it doesn't mean that you're, have experience it. It's really about what can I do to not have to do this. And
Right.
you're getting great education on top of just tips and tricks on how to kind of get stronger. Who doesn't want to do that? And our nurses are absolutely fabulous. So, it always brings me back to thinking about, because it's very similar to the program that's offered at Yes We Can, the exercise for balance and strength. And many years back, we had someone on the radio show, and he was actually a co-host briefly, and he was a very active man, fell though and injured himself, and was having a difficult time kind of rebuilding his strength. So he joined this class over at Yes We Can, and I remember he said he started off holding on to a chair, next to him to give him extra support. And as the sessions went on, he didn't need the chair anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something as simple as that, and that always stuck with me. Here it is, he really just was committed to it and went every Friday, and then walked out not having to have that kind of extra support, So it's stories like that make you feel good
Yeah.
with all of that. So please call 311 for that as well. So there's just a lot of great stuff, and there will be, of course, all of our other programs that we still offer. Our social discussion group will still be meeting on Thursdays. That group would like to continue to meet virtually, so that worked for them. So they're going to be meeting virtually still. And then we have our men's group that is going to be meeting over at the Hillside Library on Fridays. So a lot of good things, a lot of great information. I'm sure there'll be even more programs that will be kind of popping up as we go along. So definitely check that out. And Beck, also one of our favorite hot topics is that our STOP program for North Hempstead will be coming up on September 18th, which is only a couple of weekends away. So you have, a couple of weekends to gather up all the things that you really want to just cleanse out of your life. And the STOP program is such an important program that is so utilized, especially by our seniors. So it is going to be on September 18th at North Hempstead Beach Park from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I mean, they accept things, everything from aerosols, household chemicals, pesticides, disinfectants, fertilizers, bulbs, thermostats, TVs, computers, batteries, and of course you could bring the bankers, up to 6 banker size boxes of paper that you want to shred. And there's a whole bunch of other things that they'll accept, because Big Brothers Big Sisters Long Island is there, and they'll take gently used and clothing, stuffed animals, electronics, toys, sporting equipment, books, area rugs, bikes. I mean, the list is so extensive. And you could also find out things that obviously you can't necessarily bring. If you just call 311, they'll give you the list of that. But so many of our seniors use it. Otto's always raving about it, because you can just pull up to different stations and they will help, take out your whatever you're going to get rid of. So it's a great time to do that. And if we all were as organized, Beck, you had to leave us a little early last week, but Otto and I were talking about it, because I love that Otto has his 3 different boxes. So it's, his box of papers that is to, he definitely wants to get rid of, and they all have fun little names. I can't remember them right now, but, one's like just things that he wants to get rid of immediately. One's like things he has to kind of like, shred in time. That's what that box was. It was his shred in time. And then there was, one that like, he needs to just like sit on and like process. So he goes through this, but it's such a great thing to do because, when a program like this comes up, he just has to grab that box and, be on his way, so it's not, might seem like more work, but it's really actually saving yourself so much time. Because we were laughing saying, so many things are paperless now, but I still feel like I accumulate so much mail and magazines and random like junk, advertisements. We were laughing saying we're constantly getting some kind of cruise, like extensive booklet. I've never been on a cruise in my life. Not sure why I'm targeted, but I think I'm just on a list to get like every catalog known to man. At this point, you should only see what comes to my household. But
I know if you start recently getting cruise magazines, I think it has to do with the fact if you've gambled somewhere recently, because they all have casinos.
Oh, interesting. Well, I do live in a house with my dad, so all bets are off with that. So,
Yeah.
so maybe it's actually coming to him, those cruise things. But it really is important to go through things, recycle paper, and because we know that it can add up very, very fast, and when it does add up, it's extremely overwhelming, and that's something that is hard. That's why I love having our segments where we'll have Barbara Feldman on from A New Start, who's kind of our organizing guru, because she'll give us tips, and Rebecca, I know we all leave and we're like want to just organize everything and get rid of things and declutter your life, because it really has such mental health benefits, but parting with certain things, and especially dealing with seniors, I always think about my grandpa, and he just had so much paper, right? And it was every like bank statement, and then like the booklets for his investments, and it was just excessive. And he felt he needed to keep everything, and he was extra difficult. So I have a lot of training in this because we would laugh, because you have to have a sense of humor in my family to survive. And it would be like, he would not want to part with it. It'd be like this tug of war with the paper. I'd be like, Grandpa, it's time to, dispose of this paper, because it's just going to accumulate forever, so it's important to kind of do little by little before it gets too much, because it can do that. So once again, that is Sunday, September 18th at North Hempstead Beach Park. Really just go, it's a good time to go through your basement, go through your garage, go through your junk drawer, whatever it might be, and get rid of that. And then we have on October 8th, which is equally as important, is a Shed the Meds program. This is in partnership with Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder, and the whole, Town of North Hempstead board and supervisor. So this is going to be on Saturday, October 8th at 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Michael J. Tully, the parking lot over there. This is where you can drop off all kinds of different pharmaceutical and over-the-counter medications to safely, just get rid of things. It's so important to do that in a safe manner. And there's a lot that they'll accept. There's some things like needles and sharps and different aerosol things that they won't accept. But it's great. I think we all know that our medicine cabinets can fill up very fast too with a lot of medication that might be expired or something you're not using anymore. So put that in a little box, and you could bring that over and get dispose of that safely as well. So that's October 8th. So mark that down. Your whole house can be super organized and clean and safe in the September and October. You could really get that going. There's also a lot of fall events that are coming up, which is really, really fun. There's going to be Fall Festival, will be on October 1st at North Hempstead Beach Park. Fall Fest is always a really good family event, which is really, really fun. There's entertainment, crafts, games, food. There's going to be our senior Halloween dances. There'll be 2 of those, one at Fushillo Park, one at Clingy Martin Park. Of course, there's the Halloween, which is a little dog event that's going to be on October 22nd at Michael J. Tully Dog Park, because there's a little dog park over there. And then, of course, November 4th, there is the Veteran Celebration over at Clinton G. Martin Park. So a lot of those coming up. You can just call 311 to get more information and to register for all those programs as well. So it's just nice to see all these things kind of coming back.
Yeah, it really is. So, and last year was our first Halloween.
That's
So
right.
I'm sure this one will be even bigger. So we actually have to take a quick break. You're listening to Project Independence in You, Community Talk Radio, Talk of the Town on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. We will be right back.
Take WCWP with you wherever you go with the WCWP app. Listen live 24/7 to all of our streams, all from one app. Plus, call the studios directly from the app and visit our social media. Download the app through the iOS App Store on Apple devices or the Google Play Store on Android by searching WCWP Radio, or visit WCWP.org for links. The WCWP app, available now on iOS and Android devices.
Welcome back to Project Independence in You, Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org. Christine, I can't believe it's the last segment of the show today. We're in the Talk of the Town, which when Christina tells us everything that's good happening around here. And it's just, even Dan mentioned it during the break. There's a lot going on. There is. It's just pages. There's like 8 trees right here with all the stuff that's going on. And it's not just the stuff for Project Independence. So there is a ton of it, but there is a lot going on in the town, and I can't believe that we're so close to the end of August. Dare I say?
I know we're rapidly, but. I'm still, as I said, trying to hold on to some summer fun activities. So this weekend, which I'm actually really excited, it's the first time I'm doing it, out of Huntington. It's a paddle boat that you paddle with it's a big boat, so a big group of your friends go on it, and you will do that. So I'm excited. A bunch of us are going to be doing that over in Huntington. So
that's fun. Are you going down to like Hale site all the way down?
Yep, that's exactly where it is. Yep. So we're going to go up there. So wish us luck. But it should be really, really fun. So I'm trying to hold on to a couple of more little summer activities, before we wrap it up. But I also love fall. Listen, I love a good fall activity too. So
there you go.
It is, because I had to laugh because I get a text from my mom this morning, and she's like, "It's just so sad when summer ends." And I said, "Mom, I want you to be aware, like, I'm not in school anymore. It's not like I'm going back to school, so everything's okay. Yeah, summer is lovely, but she still has that, like, oh my God, school's starting kind of thing. But I was like, it's okay. We're easing into fall, so we're good.
Yeah, I've got my younger son, his last year up in school. I'll have no more school after. Well, I don't know. I don't even want to say it because
Don't put it out there.
Who knows? If he changes his major again, it could be another 5 years. But right
now, you know what? You take it one day at a time. You just do some of your mindfulness breathing back. Do you have any fun summer activities going on?
Do I?
This weekend, yes. You do anything fun this weekend, or just resting?
I am. You know what? I went away last week. I just came back. Last weekend was just, I don't even remember what happened, to tell you the truth. And I'm just going to chill this weekend, and then I'm doing some traveling again, and that's really about it. I have a really nice pool. I'm very lucky.
So nice.
So my house is very summer ready. So I'll just be chilling around the house and trying to hug Luke as much as he'll let me do. So he leaves me, goes back to school, and then I won't see him for a while, and probably won't see him for his birthday in October. So
you can go just sneak attack back. Just drive down there and surprise him.
It's a long drive, but I might. Anyway, he will have his he has 2 recitals that I will definitely be going to, one in the fall and an hour-long one in the springtime. So
good. See, these are the positive little fun things, to think of.
Yeah.
And Dan put in the chat, our very own Wizard of Oz, said fall is his favorite season because he likes the warm days and cool nights. So that's where, keeping it positive, Dan, and I agree with that. So that's something I really, during the whole COVID pandemic, I always like to be outside, but certainly during the pandemic, my appreciation for outdoor activities and being outside really was amped up even more. So that's what I'm hoping. My husband and I want to do a lot of kind of upstate, foliage kind of things in Pennsylvania you put me around some trees with pretty colored leaves, like I'm very easy, happy. So it doesn't take too much.
Well,
So
you should drive through the Adirondacks.
that's actually, we have that on our list as well. So it's nice to kind of do these things. And we're so fortunate, on Long Island and New York as a state in general
Yeah.
is just filled with so many beautiful state parks. And then of course we have our local parks too. So I really encourage people to make use of those things because there's so many that I didn't even know about. So
Yeah.
that's my little 2 cents with getting outdoors. So I'll be
It's so
practicing.
true. What you say, I mean, I live so close to Bethpage Park and
Yeah.
that trail, the bike trail down to the preserves and back. It's amazing. And
Yeah.
it's right here. And Long Island has so many wonderful trails and things to do. And
Yeah, it's so, and listen.
fall time too, like during
Yeah, and I'm a beach girl, but I'm a beach girl in all seasons. You put me on the beach in any season, I am like just very peaceful and very happy. So it's nice that you can still like kind of do that. Go for a walk on the beach. It's always nice. So whatever your thing is,
love the beach too.
that's right. Whatever your thing is, go do it and get out there and breathe some fresh air. So when it's cooler, it's a little hard. That's how I do that. But
Yes.
next week, we are going to have some repeated shows on, but the following week on September 9th, we will be coming back, which I'm really excited about. We have Ron Roel on, who is so active. He's been in a lot of different Project Independence related programs. And on top of that, he's a writer, a speaker, and even a radio show host. So he's going to be on the show talking about successful aging strategies. Which is really, it's always some of my favorite. I'm really excited for him to be on because I love hearing from interesting people and kind of what they do to keep going and to have fun, right? And to
He's
enjoy
great.
life.
He wrote for Newsday and worked with the AARP. So yeah, I've known him for a long time.
Yeah, and Ron actually did a program with the Alzheimer's Association not that long ago. He was the volunteer that was there a couple of months back. So he's very connected.
Can't wait.
And then we have September 16th. We have on Dr. Larry Cardano, who is a doctor of audiology. He's going to be on the show talking about hearing loss prevention and how treatment can maintain cognitive function and independence. We always talk about this interconnected system that we have, and hearing and brain activity and health really go hand in hand. So Larry has been on the show a bunch of times. He will be on again, which he's fabulous. And then, Beck, September 23rd is our 11th radio show anniversary, which is crazy. I don't even know. Like, sometimes I think, like, I really, truly have no idea, like, where the time, like, actually went. So we're at 11, which is really, really exciting. And we are going to be joined by Supervisor Jen DeSena will be on, and I'm sure we'll have a bunch of little surprise guests along the way, just kind of celebrating all things Project Independence. And that's my favorite because it's always a great time to kind of look back and see and remember all the guests and topics we've had, which is just like so crazy, the variety of things. So definitely check that out. Please join us. And you could also join in via Zoom. So you could join in live with us. You can come in. My microphone fell apart at the moment.
Yeah, we should probably, during our next advisory, explain how to sign in, that it's important that the advisory members come into this, radio show. And
Absolutely. So
how far in advance do you generally book the radio show guests? Like, are you 2 months ahead?
Yeah, usually it depends, so we try to be flexible. It's a lot of scheduling things that we have to work through and figure out. So I usually like to have, be certainly like a month ahead of things. So I'm already into booking October shows as well, which is good stuff. So
wow. And do most guests come to you, or do you seek them out, or is it kind of like
it's a combo? It's certainly a combo. I've actually noticed, as the years have gone on in Project Independence, the radio program has really, been around for a long time, and people are familiar with it. That I get a lot of requests because so and so's friend will tell this organization will tell that organization, but then a lot of it is just in conversation and in need, and there's a lot of times that I'll be, kind of sitting here while you and Otto are talking, and I'll be brainstorming, that would be actually an interesting topic, or, and of course I've mentioned Otto loves to give me some kind of obscure topic or guest to go track down and find. So I try to do that as well, but
that's the Otto challenge.
That's right. I go, can you find someone? I'm thinking about this, so I can't let him down, so I go to do that. And then September 30th is going to be Fran Green, who we haven't had on in a while, but she's a friend of Project Independence and just such a joy and a light in this world. So she will be doing Reconnecting After Quarantine. She is our go-to kind of flirting, dating, and relationship coach. And it's a topic, she wrote for in our Pioneer newsletter, because it's certainly something that the two of us were talking about, and we were saying, that's such an adjustment. I've seen it for myself. I've seen it from my friends. It's like, we've been, under like this crazy time. And now it's like, how do I dip my toe back into, society? And it's really hard for a lot of people. And a lot of it is respecting everyone else's kind of boundary and what they're comfortable with and what you're comfortable with. So she's got great tips. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of laughs. And it's also Otto's birthday on September 30th. So I'm sure we'll do a lot of teasing of Otto. I always think a fond memory, speaking of, old shows, when Fran was on a few years back, and we were in the studio, and it was John Ryan and Otto and Fran and myself, and their faces were, John's face was so bright red because he was so embarrassed because she was flirting with him and trying to teach him how to do it. And he was completely mortified because if anyone knew John, he would be so embarrassed with that. But Otto, she was very impressed with Otto's flirting skills. So we'll see if Otto's able to, if he's able to brush those off, if he still has it. You can come tune in on September 30th to see. But I want to remind people that if you've missed an episode, please check out the WCWP Studios YouTube page or the Project Independence website. All episodes are archived there. And it's really nice that we have, for the past, 2 years now, we have, the video footage because I find it, I'm always, if I'm listening to a podcast and they have a video option, I'm always choosing the video option to do the podcast because it's more interactive for me. So it's nice that we have that as well. And then you get to see, especially for our anniversary, there'll be a lot of decor going on as well. So you'd want to check that out. But please, if you have a topic or a person or a doctor or just whatever it might be that you think would be great for the show, please call 311 or 516-869-6311 to give your suggestion, because I love that. I want to book things that people are interested in. So definitely do that, please.
And we can even do international shows, community.
That's right. That is right. That was a milestone that we hit this year, which was so nice, was our Zooming with Germany. I'm going to have to find another topic.
I know. I challenge you.
Yeah, I'm going to, because it was really, it was such a fun topic, because it was all about the Drums Alive program.
Yeah.
Which is really, we were talking earlier, everything just comes full circle. We were talking about the benefits of music. Becca and myself are both fans of music. So it's a passion, and to know that the mental health, the physical effects that it has, the physical benefits of this drumming program is really, really wonderful. So you can check that out, because that is archived on the website. So definitely tune in with that we had a good time on that segment. So Beck, there's so much going on. I know we are rapidly approaching the end. North Hempstead, we mentioned about the weather briefly. North Hempstead sent out a reminder about the importance of kind of conserving water during this time.
Right.
It's an important kind of just a little reminder for people. I don't even know the last time it really rained, to be honest with you. I can't even fully remember. I mean, we've had like little spurt
looking
things
out the window now.
Yeah, I think today we're supposed to get rain, if I'm correct. I don't know.
We're supposed to.
Don't know. I can't keep up anymore. But just some summer water saving tips are just limit your watering to early morning and evenings before the sun comes up and after the sun goes down. Be sure to check sprinkler heads and fix or replace the ones that are broken. Do the step test. Step on your lawn, and if it bounces back, it does not need water, which I think is a great little fun fact.
Right.
Adding mulch around plants will help with moisture and water retention and helps reduce water use. When cleaning driveways and sidewalks, consider sweeping instead of using water. So these are just like some little tips that aren't that crazy to implement to your life. I'm excited because my husband, is in the landscape world. So I'm going to use these tips on him and just to prove how knowledgeable I am today. So definitely check that out. There are some water restrictions that go on too, so you can call 311 to get all the information. It's based on area and whatnot. So just be mindful of those kind of things because I think it's something that people don't necessarily think of sometimes. So
right. We got an interesting note because so every area is different.
Yes.
It's not this. So like in I live in Farmingdale, but in the Suffolk part, and we got a letter from stating that we have to turn our sprinklers off in addition to conserving during daylight between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. because if there's a fire in the area, the pressure, I guess, isn't strong to fight it because that's when all the sprinklers go on. So now so we had it, reset for 4 a.m. I guess that makes, we'll see,
but that's important because there are these things and it's a great point. It is certainly based upon by area and what township you are in. So it's always important to kind of call, and find out first. But it's important, and I always think back, we had a topic on, and I think it's when we were talking about kind of recycling and water runoff, and we had that whole topic. And it's these things that you don't really think of, It's just kind of like, but it really is so important to kind of do these things, and doing your part and your little part can certainly make things better. So
yeah, I don't even recall having a drought in so many years like this.
I know that's what Jay and I were talking about, and I was like, I have this has really been like a really long time.
Right, like a little.
I can't remember like just hearing like a steady rain.
I mean, we can't remember. We postponed Fun Day Monday on Monday because of all the rain that we were supposed to get that day, and we got none.
Yeah,
we didn't get any, and we postponed. That's why we had it on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a lot of that. I feel like a lot of it's going to rain today, and just never does.
That's what I said. You can't even plan anymore. I just cross my fingers, hope for the best, because you really don't. It's a lot of back and forth going on, but just keep in mind those little tips, and of course, find out in your area if there's other guidelines or restrictions as well. There's also a great program that I want to remind people of. The Roslyn Rescue Fire Company is doing Roslyn Rocks, and it's a charity program for the wounded warriors. Our fabulous Julie over in the office sent this over to me to promote because it's going to be kind of a little throwback to like the doo-wop era. So there's going to be a bunch of different bands that are going to be there Saturday, October 8th, one night only at Roslyn High School. For tickets, you can call 516-587-7187. It should be a really fun night, and it's for a really good cause. So definitely, if you were around or interested, call to find that out. Also coming up, we have on October 11th, Council Member Walsh is sponsoring a defensive driver safety course. That is going to be over at Town Hall from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can call 311 for all the information as far as where to send the check to, because it's $30 fee. But we always encourage people to take these defensive driving courses. You could certainly take points off if you have points. You could lower your insurance premium. And most importantly, you'll get a refresher on important kind of tips. Otto and I were talking about this last week. It's like you forget. Every time I take this driver safety thing, there's something new that I was like, oh my God, I totally, forgot. It's really important to kind of, especially if you've been driving for a long time, get a little refresher. So call 311 or 516-869-6311 for information on anything I talked about today.
Well, I think that's it. That's it for the day. So big thank you to Dan Cox as always. And, we do miss Otto. Not that much. I mean, I think we did all right. We love you, Otto. But
right.
Thank you so much for listening. We had Taryn Katushin, who's talking about healthy living for your brain and body from the Alzheimer's Association of the Long Island chapter. She was terrific. We'll be back. Next week will be a recorded show, and we'll be back the week after. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. You're listening to Project Independence in You Community Talk Radio on 88.1 FM and WCWP.org.